Hey, welcome back to my channel, Murray NJ08. And today, for the first time, we are going to get an in-depth look at what's on my iPad. Now, this is actually only a fraction of the apps that I have in my iTunes library on my iMac that I sync over. So basically, this is an actual 64 gig iPad 3 that's near full, actually. So I do switch the apps back and forth, but I have a couple thousand in my iTunes library. Now, naturally, it would take forever to go through all these, so basically I'm just going to skim through them, give you an idea what's on here, a little bit of a variety. I'm going to actually open up a few of them, ones that I think people would be interested in, and basically go through a lot of the folders on here, and show you guys what new apps I've been getting, as I've actually been adding to this within the past few weeks. And then I'll just take a quick peek right over here. At the very end, I'm trying to keep this very organized. Every page has a different subject, so one is games, one is photography. We'll get to that. And then here on the last page, well, the second to last, I have folders. So all the folders are on here, and then basically all the other pages have icons on them. That's my way of organizing. I find that to be a lot easier to find apps. You can also search for them. And then the last page here is just apps that I've recently bought that I haven't placed yet. But these are mostly games. So we're going to actually go back to the beginning. And this is my main page. And then I basically, how I make this out is that I put the most apps that I use every day on my first page. And then of course we have the bottom bar here. So we have Safari, we have Mail, Photos, iBooks, Facebook, and Music. Standard fare, pretty much. And then naturally you have your basic ones that come with the iPad. Your Messenger, your calendar, your notes, blah, blah, blah. Clocks, App Store. Here's a few that I've added. I've added Pandora, which I love. And I've also added TeamViewer, which is basically a virtual remote desktop. I use this a lot when I'm on the road to help people at the office. I can log on to a computer. I can walk them through something. I can take control of the computer. I can basically turn this into a virtual Windows machine desktop. So that comes in very handy. Then, of course, we have Twitter. Now, I use Twitter pretty much every day. And this is the standard basic Twitter app. And to be honest with you, I'm going to open it up. I find it to be one of the best ones. I've tried them all. We're going to go through a few of them, but I've tried TweetDeck. I've tried Twitterific, Tweetbot. I'm always trying to try different ones, and this is the one that I keep winding up using the most. It just does what it does. It's a pretty easy interface. It's pretty organized. Does what I need it to do. So I know some of these Twitter apps really get involved, but I always come back to this one, so I like it. Okay, let's go on to the next page. Now, this is photography. I do a lot of graphic design, a lot of editing. I take this on the road with me. And, you know, you don't always have Photoshop next to you when you need it. So these are a lot of good supplements when I'm on the road. And some of these apps are actually very involved in quite good, honestly. I've tried many of them. There's a couple free ones here, but most of them are paid. And then I have photography-related apps, so not necessarily photo retouching apps, but, you know, like Instagram. Okay? Camera Plus. This app called Toon Paint, which is actually pretty neat. It's in the it's loading up the site. Let me let's turn the orientation. This is an iPhone only app, but anyway, you basically import a photo that you already have, and it actually turns it into almost like a comic book sketch. It's pretty neat. See? Instantly. And then you could even bring it into another program and add color. So that's just for fun. you know. What else do we got here? Photoshop Touch, which is probably one of the most involved photography apps that I use on here. Begin a tutorial, begin a project. Basically goes through your albums, almost like Bridge or Lightroom. For those that use photography, image editing, post-processing. So you would select a picture, you would add it. Takes a few seconds to load. And then basically you have everything that you would in Photoshop. Contrast, exposure, cloning, masking even. It's pretty involved. It's pretty good. I like it. Add text. Alright, so that's the photography apps. Let's move on. More photography apps. And some of these, if you notice towards the bottom, are a little bit of like kind of fun apps. Like doodling and drawing. Veridum Paint is one that you can just basically waste countless hours playing around with. It shows you some samples that you could do. This is one I did that I saved. So this is just a little fun app, something to pass the time. Let's see. There's a Matrix app. It's supposed to make it like the Matrix filter with the green and the zeros and ones over you. That's just a little fun. Okay, then we have a lot of other. We have Photoshop Express, which is basically the smaller Photoshop Touch in a compact, more simple way to do basic exposures. And I use that actually on my iPhone. And then, of course, we have the games, which is actually what most of this is taken up by. Angry Birds, all of them. Cut the Rope. What else? Scribble Knots. I just got the Borderlands app. It's pretty good. Infinity Blade. We got Real Racing 2. I got Real Racing 1 also. Draw Something. Zenbound 2. That's a pretty neat app. Which one should we open? I got Geometry Wars Touch. And, you know, some of these are paid, some of them are free, and some of them are paid apps that I got for free. It's a little, you know, something different. Kind of like relaxing kind of a game. You move around. Very nicely rendered. I like the graphics on this game. Just give you an idea what it's about. I don't want to take too much time with each app. We have a lot to go through. It's a little tricky playing it with one hand. So basically, after you wrap it around with the rope, the nail will glow, and then you have to hit the nail with the rope. And it goes to the next one, and then it get harder and harder. But it's different. It's a time waster, you know, pass the time. What else? And then we have a lot of weather apps. Another kind of app that I like. I've tried them all. Some of these are really unique, though. There's Weather HD, which I like. I like the Weather Channel app. AccuWeather is very good. This is a kind of a neat one here. Doodle Weather. This one I have to turn. So, pretty neat. Kind of like a artsy style to it. There's new art also that you can actually download as in-app purchases. So that's neat. Okay, what else? And then there's some miscellaneous apps here. There's some zone out apps, some drawing apps, some screensaver type apps, Midnight HD, Uzu. some star apps like Planet Universe for the constellations in the sky. I've been using them actually here down in Florida. Alarm clock apps, you know, white noise, soothing sounds at night, kind of stuff like that, kind of a little miscellaneous. I'll show you a neat little app I like to play with. This is actually kind of like the other apps I was telling you about that you could draw with, but I just have a blast with these. These, and actually when we get into them, the music apps. Those are actually some of my favorite. Alright, so we got a little mix there. And then, of course, like I was just saying, the music apps, these are a blast. I have a little bit of everything. Guitar, drums, just different ways to make beats. Actually, some serious DJ apps. Some little fun apps just to play around with. Some apps that are actually pretty involved. I mean, here's a drum app. You know. What else? 6-string. I actually have GarageBand on here. The mobile version for the iPad. It's pretty good. It's a big app, but it's good. Sometimes I bring it into the studio with me when I'm recording. You got your keyboard. You got your drums. Your guitar amp, which I actually have one on here. It's called Amplitude Audio Recorder. Sampler. Smart drums. Smart strings. Smart bass, and it goes on and on. It's a pretty involved app. What else? Here's a neat one called Beatbot. Just something fun to play around with. Okay, let's go to the next one. More games. Let's see. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Nova 3. The original Doom. Slayer. Pinball. Dead Space. That's a cool game. A pottery game. You make pottery. It's actually very fun. Mirror's Edge. Paper Toss. NBA Jam. Rock Band. Another page here of games. Sonic Jump, Sonic CD. I love the Sega Sonic games. I got actually the first episode of The Walking Dead video game on here. It's pretty good. I have all the other ones on PSN. The Room, which is actually a really good puzzle game. It